And I wonder, day to day, I don't like you anyway. I don't need your shit today. You're pathetic in your own way. All right, guys.
Oh, okay, that's enough.
We just wanted to really bring us all back to what, 1999?
99, bro. Do you remember that year?
Little Godsmack, little whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Little Metallica light for those of you haters out there.
I'm not gonna lie. There's some songs I dig from Godsmack.
I mean, they got a lot. Okay, so they get written off kind of like I call it butt rock because I don't like shit like Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah,
Not into it. I know there's a lot of Army vets that dig it, but listen to some real metal, dude. Fuck that bullshit. Watered down. But you know what?
Metal Light.
Yeah, and you know what? As much shit as Limp Bizkit got, like Five Finger Death Punch is trying to do what Limp Bizkit did 30 years ago, but now.
Yeah,
It's like that's not brave or like
you know,
why is that celebrated?
You know who else I don't really like or never got into, and I don't think we ever had this conversation. Shinedown.
I got into them, but not. It's funny because I don't think they have consistently like awesome records. But they have like these songs that are just really good. Like, I think Second Chance is a good one. It's a really catchy song. 45's classic. You don't like that 45 song?
No, I never got into it, dude. Yeah. I don't know why. It's just like that metal genre kind of. Nah.
Wait, so I put them. They're a better version of this, but do you probably lump Puddle of Mud in that version?
Yes.
Of that realm as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I just think Shinedown is more on the Godsmack side of it, like talented, but still lumped in the category like Puddle of Mud.
And like
Puddle of Mud
was like Five Finger Death Punch, and then what was the other one? Like Skin Puppy or something Skin. No, whatever.
Skindred, or just skin puppets.
I just remember I went to like
Skinny Puppy maybe.
Was that?
I don't listen to that.
I don't know. I just remember I went to like Music in the Park in downtown, and one of those like metal bands were there. I don't remember what song, but
Skin Lab.
No, it wasn't.
No, I saw them live.
It doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go and listen to them.
Well, you were doing the best you ever did.
Now go away.
Yeah, exactly. But we were being annoying and just coming up with alternative lyrics, and maybe we'll come back to that later.
Yeah,
I think we'll
figure
come
it
back
out.
to that.
We'll figure it out.
We'll circle back.
We'll put that in the parking lot right now.
I'm gonna have a little drink, because lately, yesterday, we went to Monterey, which was nice. My son Vincent was like, "Hey, can we go to Dennis the Menace Park?" And I was like, "Oh, cool," because I didn't really have any plans for Saturday. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's get out of the house." I love to go somewhere else, and like Monterey's nice because it's not hella crowded.
Yeah.
So we went, did that, tired the kids out. Well, we stopped at Casa de Fruta because it's a good midway point.
Yeah.
Rode the train, kept the kids busy for like an hour, then took off again because it's just the car rides for my little one is just my littlest.
Yeah.
He hates it.
Yeah.
So we got to keep our sanity. So then when we got to Monterey, we spent 2 hours at the park, and then we went to, Cannery Row and got some fucking dinner.
Where did you go and eat at Cannery Road?
The Salty Seal.
Okay, I always go with Bubba Gump when I'm there.
I told Steph that. I was like, I've never eaten there. And she's like, yeah, it's good, but it's like a chain.
Yeah, it really is. I don't mind it.
They have El Torito out there, too.
They do.
Is that now, as a Mexican man, is that somewhat whitewashed?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm probably good off that.
Absolutely. But is it good?
Or maybe that's the way black people look at bubble gums. Like Southern blacks. Southern black people.
Well, no.
Because, all the crawfish, like especially like if you're talking like New Orleans or maybe like Georgia.
The Creola. No, dude. Actually,
all the colors.
When I've gone, mind you, I'm not a fucking like aficionado or anything. I only gone like 2 or 3 times.
You do know your food though.
But I get there. Like their barbecue chicken, whatever club thing. I get like a barbecue chicken hamburger. El chorito is not bad actually. It's not it's not bad.
It's not bad.
I'll tell you that much.
Okay, but
it's not bad.
It's not going to be. Maybe it's I think I know what I'm getting.
And then I like Monterey, dude. I like I like going to the aquarium. It's fucking expensive as fuck, though.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
We just did the park, and I wanted to go and get some beers, and I didn't know Dust Bowl. Dust Bowl is actually in Turlock, but they also have a Dust Bowl brewery in Monterey.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. So I got some craft beers, and they ran out of clam chowder, which on the inside it was sad. But on the outside, like, I'm not one of those fucking annoying ass people that's like, well, because I even told Steph that was funny, because he's all, we ran out of clam chowder. He was a really nice dude, and then he's like, but we do have the fish chowder, and I even asked about it originally, so I was like, I'll just go with that, and it was really good.
Yeah.
But then I told Steph right after we ordered and he left, I said, how it would have been like, what if I would have been like, well, then why did we even fucking come here? Like, because I feel like he was the way he came up to the table.
Yeah.
Because he's got to be so used to bitchy ass tourists in that area, like I just felt like, especially probably didn't help that we had kids. So I think they stereotype people with kids to be extra picky.
Yeah.
Always leave a fucking mess. Don't tip well.
Yeah.
So I didn't do any of that.
You didn't tip well?
Motherfucker. No, I said I didn't do any of that. So I did tip well. You did.
Yeah. Way to go.
Of course. And then like we didn't leave a mess, and like the kids were just too tired. They were gonna have a band set up, but we're like, no, that's like an hour from now, and they're already fucking falling asleep.
Yeah, they're done.
But I was like, I had a couple beers, and I even told Steph when we were sitting out there, because it was a patio. It was so nice. And then I just told her, I'm like, I love this feeling, like being around everybody. But then like physiologically, I also love the feeling of eating food, feeling full, and feeling drunk. But not like I can't walk drunk. Like I'm buzzed, like, warm in my stomach. I'm like, I like that.
What brewery you said you went to again? The
the place we went to eat was Salty Seal, which is like it's like a pub, kind of like they had like a fish and chip special. I ended up ordering the fish tacos, which were fucking super good.
Did I ever tell you about the whale watching experience in Monterey?
I don't think we ever talked. Did we talk about it on the pod? I think you talked to me about it, but
not on the pod.
But I don't think we ever disclosed. This is a perfect time probably to
throw
it out there.
We
Hey, on the other side of Monterey, not such the light side.
Well, last time I went to Monterey was on Boxing Day, on December 26th, for all of our listeners in the UK. Thank you.
Or Canada.
Hey. Or Australia, maybe.
That's more E, maybe.
It's E,
mate.
E, mate.
Terrible accent.
I know. Ugh. So yeah, we went to we went whale watching, and it was my first time going whale watching. I've always wanted to do it. First time going, fucking experience of a lifetime. We even upgraded to like the freaking nicer seats. It came out pricey. We went to I think it's called like All Monterey Diner for breakfast, whatever.
Oh, the Old Monterey Diner.
Yeah. It was pretty nice, pretty good place. Anyways, we go. The fucking disaster. The trip was a disaster. The boat trip. Like
before we get to the boat trip, can we? Do you remember what you ordered to eat? Because I'm a food person. I just want to imagine your food.
I definitely remember getting like some sort of omelet with pancakes.
Because that's also important for the story. I feel what you load up on.
In the sense, yes. So I got like some sort of omelet.
So it's eggs.
Yeah, with like No, I got country potatoes because I like going with the country potatoes.
Yeah.
If the option is there, and pancakes. And she got I want to say it was a crab Benedict.
Oh man, so really hearty, wholesome breakfast.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious though. Crab Benedict.
Yeah,
it's got to be nice and rich.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Benedict. I'm not a fan of eggs really. I only like my eggs scrambled.
It's a safe way to have them. It really is, because it's always consistently just that. And sometimes when you get the over easy,
I don't like
or over medium. Like I like it, but I got to be in the mood for it. I'm more in the mood for scrambled because I grew up like that.
I'm always scrambled because the yolk just like that. I can't do it.
Maybe it's because we're uniformly accustomed to the prison system. Don't they only have scrambled eggs?
The system freaking...
It's only because of what we watch on TV.
Yeah.
We're not conditioned at all.
We're not ready for it.
No.
So we go, whatever, we get there. We go to this nice bakery around the corner. I can't remember what the name of the bakery was, but we got some food. We get in the freaking. We barely made it to ship. We made it to go watch the fucking whales.
The way you talk about it right now is so like, fuck those whales. Yeah, we watched the fucking whales.
Fuck Willie, dog.
Should have fucking harpooned that fucking thing.
So we're going right, and we're already kind of late. We're like 10 minutes before we get there. So we park. We're walking. My girlfriend forgets like something, so she runs back to the car.
Yeah,
and then she runs back. And then, like, I take 3 steps. I'm like, dude, you should bring your glasses. And she's like, no, fuck. And I'm
like sunglasses or
yeah, sunglasses.
Oh, okay.
Sunglasses, yeah. And she's like, I'm like, dude, it's cool. She's like, no. She made it like a thing to like start running back to get the glasses,
right?
Because the glasses is very important because we thought we were gonna go for sunshine. Little did she know, or little did we know, that shit was going to get super dark and there's going to be no need for sunglasses.
And not just the sun, just in
general.
The theme.
Everything got dark in there. So whatever, we eloped in the butt. We got the boat. We got on the fucking top deck. We're going. We see some fucking like sea otters on the way. It's like everybody's, oh, sea otters.
Yeah.
So once we hit like the fucking ocean, not the docks, but once we hit like the fucking open sea, I shit you not, dude. It must have been like 15-foot waves. The seas were rough, dog.
You guys were like on Wicked Tuna all of a sudden.
We were on fucking everything I've ever seen in freaking Deadliest Catch. It came to be, oh, these seas are 15, 60 knots, you know, shit. No, dude, and it was funny because like I remember like we'll go up and then like the boat would drop and you'll hear, and you'll hear people like woo.
Yeah.
You know, that shit went on for like 10 minutes, and then shit got dark. Shit got quiet. It was windy. It was cold as fuck.
It was like the boat ride to Normandy in World War II when they're all throwing up. You guys are all miserable. Where's the fucking whales?
It's the opening scene of fucking Saving Private Ryan.
Someone tells you there's a whale. They're like, shut the fuck up. Let's get us back to the land.
So dude, it's like this, dude. It gets quiet after like 5-10 minutes, and then people start. Remind you, I'm in the top deck. I'm in the VIP section. We paid extra for this shit. And
actually, when you think about it, it does make sense why you're VIP, because all the keep going.
Okay. Ha! Titanic.
Well, that and something else.
Okay. So we're going, and then, dude, I'm not even playing. I turned to Monica, and she's like, under her breath, I hear her say, "This is so fucked. This is so fucked. This is so fucked." I'm like, "Fuck," and I'm like, "Dude, are you okay?" She's like, "Just shut up." She took one of those like motion sickness things before, and it was like the non, drowsy one. And she's like, "Fuck it, give me the harsh shit." So she went for like the drowsy one, and just you can just see that she was not having a good time. And then like I'm not even exaggerating, 15-20 minutes into the fucking boat trip, the symphony of fucking throw up begins. Mm-hmm. Everybody around us is freaking throwing up. They're all reaching for the fucking seasick bags, and it's just like some poor dude sitting behind us, like a fucking like fountain coming out of his fucking mouth, just just like the worst, like. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there, mind you, I did not take anything for seasickness or anything like that.
Wait, did you throw up?
No.
Okay.
I did not. I swear. Wow. I swear to whatever. You
were the only real man on that boat.
Me and another Mexican lady in front of me.
Of course. Of course. She probably had like 12 kids.
She was just no.
She's probably like, I don't give a fuck.
This lady like opened up a bag of chips and she's like,
yeah, dude. She's like, I've been through worse.
Yeah, dude. And I'm a plane. Like, did I get sick? And yeah, I was
right. No, I know. I got you.
I was feeling it, but I never like in the sense I like felt like I wanted to puke. Monica was trying to make her way up to go to the back because they're like, if you get seasick, go towards the back is like the more stable place.
Right.
She every time she stood up, it was like turbulence.
It was like the worst timing.
Yeah. She would like
Okay,
get up.
okay.
She'll get up and be like, fuck.
It's like
fuck.
Yeah, I'll be like, they know.
And then like one of the workers came out. By this time, everybody in top deck has thrown up, except for me, Monica, and like this lady in front of us.
Dang.
And like one of the workers comes up and he goes, "Oh man, there's a shit show downstairs. There's puke all over the place, like in the bottom." And dude, we went out. It was a 3-hour ride, so we went far out for like an hour and a half. It started even fucking raining. It started to like rain, and I'm just like, of course. Finally, we circle back. And luckily, like the ride wasn't as bad anymore. Like it was, for some reason, like going out to sea, it was choppy. Coming back, it was way smoother. Still super windy. Monica managed not to go out, but she got up, literally crossed me, and then she sat back down because she couldn't get like
her legs.
Yeah, and then finally she ended up like falling asleep, and I'm like, good, let her. Yeah. The symphony came down. We got back we're getting close to the dogs. By this time, we're fucking laughing. I'm already texting like my friends, like, dude, bro, this is the worst.
You're taking selfies with the puke everywhere.
Yeah,
look at this shit.
Puke angels and shit.
Can't handle yourselves.
Puke
angels.
Mind you, we did not see a single fucking marine life out there. Not a single whale. Nothing. Nothing.
Do you think it was because it was so distracted with all the other shit, or they really just weren't pointing anything out?
They weren't. Like the captain said, there was a couple of whales.
That's even worse.
They tried to like reach them, but they
I wonder if these dudes are just fucking with people, like because they're like, let's take these shitty tourists out here,
and
watch them all throw up their stupid lunches.
No, dude, it was like.
But then they have to clean it all up, though.
Yeah, they have to hose it down and shit.
That's not worth it.
So once we're coming back, the guy's like, hey, we're gonna give you like a rain check, so y'all can come back. It's a rain check, good for like whatever price. So we did get a rain check, so we're gonna go try again in April. But what's funny is that as we're going back to the deck or to the docks, in one of those like water buoys, whatever, there was like some seals, and like the captain goes, if you look at your 9 o'clock, there's some seals. No one fucking gives a fuck. Everybody was like, dude, let's just fucking get the fuck out of here. And once we're back in there,
also, it's not a seal watching tour.
No, right? We wanted to see fucking.
Like, thanks for the effort. But,
so the guy was like, yeah, we're going to give you guys a rain check. And I'm like, dude, that sucks for like people who came like from fucking like other places out of the country. And like, oh, we're going to go see a fucking whale. And they got fucking Puke Fest 2021.
Yeah.
And then, but it's funny because by this time, Monica and I were fucking laughing about it. We're just like, we're grading like, yeah, this sucks, but let's make the best out of the situation. So we're fucking laughing about it. And Monica, under her breath, goes, fuck, I can't believe I fucking upgraded for this bullshit. I can't believe I fucking paid for like a ride from hell. And I thought it was fucking funny because that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, wow, people were really. And I'm like, well, at least I got quite an experience out of this. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I think VIP was because you guys were. All the throw up would travel down, so I think the VIP was because you were.
It was like the better view up in the
less
top.
Puked people,
less people up. But yeah, dude, it was quite an experience. So we're gonna go for it again in April when it's better.
You guys didn't puke.
We didn't.
As heavy as those breakfasts
Yeah, dude,
were.
we didn't, and it was close. I mean, I wasn't like super close to it, but I was like, fuck, this sucks. Like,
but how much of that was because it wasn't even probably the motion sickness? It was more the puke, the other puke. Right?
Yeah, there was a time where like I had to like do my breathing exercises and it's just like literally fucking try to meditate.
Because I don't like smelling other people's shit.
No, and not like to hear other people puke.
Yeah, retching is rough. Yeah.
And it was hard, dude. That part was hard, but we got over it. We'll go back to it. But long story short, the reason I say this is because after that we went to Alvarado Brewery right there on is right down the street also from the old Monterey Cafe. Good little brewery spot. I was like, yo, let's eat. and I had like a beer too, and you could just tell like I'm not feeling it. like with all of that fucking motion sickness. But Monterey is quite a nice city.
Oh, it's beautiful. And it's like it's not super crowded.
No.
Even when it's busy, it's not like San Francisco or
when you say the park, do you guys go to like that pathway park thing that's behind the Bay Aquarium, or
no, we're going to the park that's by the cemetery. It's Dennis the Menace. It's got the train. It's got like I don't know, it's like iconic. It's literally the park the creator Dennis the Menace created.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess he's from the area.
It's not. Is that the one where there's like a lake and you can rent like the swans?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
yeah, that one.
Okay, yeah.
But the park is, and there's like a skate park.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's by a cemetery. Hella nice area.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's whenever we go, even yesterday, it was like I don't know, it was like 60, mid to high 60s.
Yeah,
and it's like for February. Pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet. No, and even like in the summertime, because I remember going there for like Memorial Day weekend or something.
Yeah, it won't be that hot because of the ocean.
Yeah, and it'll be like 80 or 90 all over the Bay Area. It's fucking like 60, low 70s. It's fucking amazing, dude.
That's why I'm like, I told Steph, I was like, I don't know if I mean, like, I don't want to say I don't want to live here, but I was like, maybe when we get older, because I told her, I'm like, I think we're more. I don't know. We're either going to be inland or we're going to be coastal when we get older. And I haven't figured out what kind of person I am yet. But I'm still thinking I'm coastal.
Yeah.
But like also when I'm older, I'm going to be going places less. So inland's not a big deal. If I'm inland though, I got to be by a body of water.
Yeah.
Like a lake or something.
Yeah.
But we're just saying like when we're older, like where are we going to retire? But I'm like Monterey would be nice. San Luis Obispo would be nice.
Yeah.
But just like Monterey would probably be a little nicer because I don't know. It's like trying to deal with all the fucking like. There's hella like rich white people out there too, though. It's like I don't really want to retire with that.
That's everywhere, though, dude.
It is everywhere.
Yeah,
that's true. Every retirement community is that, though.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the other thing that sucks.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you something.
Sure. Shoot from the hip.
Have you seen the Power Ranger movie? Not the classic ones from the night.
The remake.
The remake in the 90s. It came out like 5 years ago or something.
I don't think I finished it, but I started watching it, and I was entertained.
Yeah.
I didn't think it didn't feel shitty.
Yeah. If you I would recommend going back. I remember seeing it and thinking to myself, this is actually not so bad.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad. I like how they transform the Power Rangers where it's not like a fucking coin or anything. It's kind of like you unlock the power in you kind of situation. So it wasn't bad. I liked it. But anyways, when they bring out Garden Grove or Orange Grove or whatever the city, I think it's called Garden Grove where they're from. It's like, a coastal town in California, and I'm like, where the fuck is this small ass 3,000 people?
Like Anaheim.
No, dude. I feel like anywhere. It has to be like North California. I feel like it was maybe.
You mean in the new one?
Yeah, in the new one. No, yeah. In the TV shows 90s, that's definitely somewhere in SoCal.
Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica.
Yeah, so like okay. So the new one's like because it is a little more like foresty-ish, right?
Yeah, it gave me a lot of like Oregon coast.
I like that it's a different. California. I like that it's a different setting.
Yeah, like
everyone does the LA palm tree rollerblading on the sidewalk by the beach thing.
Yeah,
it's so overdone.
Yeah, and so
it's like that's not all of Cali.
No, it's not. It is 75%, yes, for sure. Well, actually, I haven't seen a rollerblade.
Coastal is not a lot, most of it.
No,
it's just all we care about on TV.
Yeah,
I want to see some Modesto type movies.
Damn, imagine if they did like in fucking Lodi or.
That would be kind of boring. It'd be like True Detective.
Freaking San Bernardino or fucking.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe that is why they do it.
Yeah,
it's like let's look at the Brown Hills again.
Yeah, let's look at freaking. Imagine if they did it up in Redding or something like hell math capital over there.
Yeah, you're like trees and math.
America.
Not a lot of teeth. A lot of trees.
A lot of California up there.
Yeah,
that's Monterey.
Monterey's cool.
Yeah,
Monterey's fun. It's good to get out of the city.
Yeah,
it's good to get out away from home.
Yeah.
Because I feel like even if you don't necessarily do anything all weekend, to just go somewhere and to just get away from what you've been doing all week is just really all you really need normally.
Yeah.
You know?
And y'all were in Tahoe not so long ago also, like 2 weeks ago, right?
Maybe last week. Or no, 2 weeks ago. I don't know. It's been a weird month.
Mm-hmm.
I did smoke a dab right before we did this episode. Danny saw me do my drugs.
I witnessed it. I saw it. I seen it.
He saw me shoot up, and he's a supportive friend.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I forgot what I was talking about.
Lake Tahoe.
Yeah. No, we talked about it last week. No, so I think it was last week because I think that's what we talked about last week.
Yeah. You're right.
It was fun.
It was the fucking car.
No. You're right. It was 2 weeks because last week we talked about it.
Yeah, it was the freaking ride from hell coming back with the kid. Yeah.
And if it wasn't for this podcast, I wouldn't have been able to keep that timeline accurate.
Yeah.
Because, dude, sometimes, especially recently, because I've been like opening up the other podcast, the Stoop Kid podcast too. So like, there's times where I'm mixing up our subject matter.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh wait, was that a Stoop Kid or was that a Tales?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But no, it's like it's just been like, and with work too. I'm doing the schedule and I'm like taking charge a lot more with work and all the operations and stuff. So it's been good. It's just been a lot more busy. I'm busier with work. I'm busier with projects.
Being pulled all over the place.
Yeah, but it feels good. It's like learning how to balance.
Yeah.
Because it's not overwhelming. It's like you're being utilized the way you need to be for yourself to be happy and to learn. Because I feel like there's nothing worse than just stagnant and like if all I was doing was watching TV, not really even though I don't like commuting every day.
Yeah.
Like just staying home all the time would wear on me.
Yeah.
You know, so I got to remind myself that it's good to get out, even if it's going to work.
Yeah, it's breaking the cycle and stuff like that.
Good stain record.
Not only that, this week I've been off of school and we had a little ski week action going on. And I'll be honest, I don't have anything ready for this week of school. But I feel like it sucks, dude, because like the weeks leading up to this break were so stressful. And I think same like you, like just being pulled like 20 different directions and so many things going on. And like, I remember, I think I shared this with you in the last episode. We were watching for Super Bowl, like it was just, that week was so stressful. And I remember that Sunday was like the first day where I actually felt like a day where I finally relaxed. Like Saturday, Saturday I ended up going to like just running errands. You were out of town, so we didn't record.
Yeah.
So if like I slept in, ran some did my morning stuff, got ready for Super Bowl, and then like I remember seeing Super Bowl, and then I remember getting ready to go start doing work, and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit, dude. Like I don't want to start thinking about work and stressing over work and and then I have this thing, and it leads to kind of like what we were talking about. Well, we're talking about like imposter syndrome, where like if I don't do this, people are gonna think that I'm not capable, or maybe I don't belong here, or blah blah blah. And it was like just hits after hits of like not like things not going my way or things I had planned, and I'm like, fuck, dude, like I'm a fucking loser. You start having these ideas, dude. And then like I realized like at the end of the day it's because I'm trying to please everybody.
Yeah.
I'm trying to obviously I'm trying to do things for myself. But at the same time, I feel like it's just like trying to please everybody, like making sure I meet deadlines and stuff like that. And I'm like, why am I freaking killing myself for this? And like, why? And I know I'm going to be freaking out later on today when we, once I get back home and start working for this week's things. It's going to be freaking, it's going to be all over the place. And the thing that I realized is it's a hard thing is we have to learn how to say no.
Yeah.
And we had that conversation before. We had an episode of like why we have to say no and how to say no and the power of no. But it's so hard for me. It's so hard to say no because I feel like by saying no is I'm letting people down, and by saying no, I feel like it is. I don't know. I feel like I'm letting people down. It's also part of the imposter syndrome if I say no, because it's like, oh, obviously, if you know what the fuck you're doing, you'll be able to do this also.
Yeah.
But also, like, by saying yes and trying to please everybody, I feel like you're just creating more stress, and you're just like killing yourself for what? For nothing. So they can just prove that they can throw more shit on your plate, and you can, like, it's just such a freaking, it's a hassle, bro.
Yeah, I think the strategy for that would be like strategizing ways to help the solution, but without it being all on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like with work for me, they were like trying to, great example. So I make the schedule at work, and we have company cars, and I've been talking to my boss. I'm like, it is a waste of money that we got these cars just sitting around, and these guys are driving their own cars for the mileage. Everyone knows that, you get the mileage and, whatever, it helps you out, but it's wear and tear on your vehicle. It doesn't really make sense. We drive in Oakland. I mean, why would you want to? Anyway, doesn't matter. So I'm like, just, we have employee agreements that they all just signed. And like, we have company cars, and if the company cars are there, they need to be used. And like, sure, if they're all used up, then you can take your own car, but we need to fucking make it a priority to use the company cars that we're paying for, So then my work chimes in with, oh, hey, by the way, make a list of all the people that are taking the cars and on what days, so that way we can deduct the mileage. And I'm like, I literally emailed her back, and I was like, I worded it just like this. We don't need to make the list. Like, I already put a schedule together that has those people's names with dates on each square with what car they should be driving.
Mm-hmm.
You can use that as the list. And then she was just like, but how are we enforcing it? I'm like, you had everyone sign employment agreements last week. If they don't do it, we write them up. I mean, it's just like, it's like, why are you creating more work for me? And see, but that's the thing. Like, I know what all we need to do. So I know enough to the point where I know I'm not doing redundant work. I know, like, it's a waste of money for them to fucking pay me to do the same job twice.
Yeah.
Which is a great thing to tell your boss. If you don't want to do something and you know it's redundant, just tell them that.
Yeah.
Be like, look, I feel that I'm already doing this. And if you really want to pay me to do the same job twice, I can do that for you. Mm-hmm. But I'm letting you know this might be something you want to change.
Yeah.
And usually, more than not, they're going to be like, okay, for sure. Good looking out. Yeah, let's do something different. Mm-hmm. But like, it's always that like push work on other people, but it's up to us to be smart enough to be like, to acknowledge and understand with what is really worth working on and how we should do it. Right. And sometimes just because they tell you to do something, it's not even the right way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying it's always the wrong way. You shouldn't assume that, but everyone knows their work and how their supervisors are and their owners, whatever, how they behave, their quirks, so it's like, it's easy for me to be like, no, trust me, we're good. But it's just, I also know that not every place is so simple to just be like, no, but I think that's why we got to word it a certain way. So like, if it was more of a corporate setting, I probably would have been like, I probably would have just said everything I said just in a different order. Been like, okay, so I heard what you said about doing this, but what I would do, what I feel is we're already doing this, and this, which is what you're talking about. Uh-huh. So all we really need to do is enforce that, and then we don't need to make another list.
Yeah.
And then when you word it like in a way that's more helpful to them and beneficial to them.
Will you be open to?
Yeah, and then word it like that. Instead of it being like what I want to do in my head, which is, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You shouldn't tell me to do dumb things. This is in my mind, and then, but that's not effective communication. But I mean, that's why I do that in my mind. Mm-hmm. And then out loud, I'm like, oh, thanks, but we should probably do this instead.
Yeah.
But let me know what you think.
I feel like that's a good point. Like, why would you have to, going back to your responsibility, like, why would you write down oh, so and so was driving this one. Like, no, if it's on the schedule, just go off the schedule.
Yeah, and enforce the schedule.
If a person goes, oh, I wasn't driving, I was driving my car this day. Like, well, why?
Exactly. And we have a record of what they should have been doing.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing. So you weren't paying attention.
So exactly my point.
And if they go like, well, somebody else was driving. Well, who was? Because the only person who should have been driving this car, at least, so that way, like, okay, either you tell me the truth or you rat somebody out.
Well, and what's a better list than that already?
Yeah, it's
so
there.
I'm literally going to do the same thing, but in a list form.
Yeah,
it just makes no sense.
Yeah,
so that's why I'm there. I'm there to remind people, don't be silly. Let's not do the same job 3 times, especially when you're paying me to do it.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm not trying to fuck you over. I'm telling you, you're wasting your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think that's a pretty fair thing to say.
And that's what every owner wants to hear. Like,
I would imagine,
you save your money?
I would hope.
Yeah.
It's like normally it's people wanting to cost you money.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to be honest here.
Yeah.
But that and like I think everyone deals with that. Like that is a super relatable issue where you're always going to have your supervisor or your superior kind of giving you stuff, whether they're micromanaging or not. And we're adults, we're not children anymore. So it's really up to us to say and identify that stuff. Like if you notice something seems ridiculous, it is absolutely your responsibility to call it out.
Yeah.
Like for the benefit of yourself, for the benefit of the team, because it's not benefiting anyone to do stupid shit or to do things that was a waste of time. So, I think it tightens everyone up a little bit, and it's one of my pet peeves. Don't waste my fucking time.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to optimize that, especially at work. But that they pull you in all kinds of different directions. I totally know what you mean, but it's up to us to recognize what direction we need to go.
Yeah.
And as long as we know what we need to do, that's really all it is. Like, especially with your work, like what you got to do. Yeah. Unless they kind of want to come in with some rule changes or some new implementation with curriculum, I'm sure that's probably what changes up. But for the most part, it's pretty much like I know what I got to do, and as long as I'm not fucking up, and as long as my kids are benefiting from what I'm doing, then we should be smooth.
Yeah, and I feel like that's how it should be. And of course, there's always, because unfortunately I work in a charter school, which are great. But charters are like in the public education shit list because like they're taking our kids, blah blah blah. So I feel like districts are always like super like.
But don't you pay for charter schools?
No.
Well, some are free.
The majority of them are free. Some of them like private schools, yeah. But I do know since the districts don't like charters, or at least the district my charter belongs to, I feel like they're constantly like demanding and wanting more and more and more. So that way, like just one little mess up, like, oh, okay,
well, see, and that's politics.
Absolutely, that's what it is.
The districts don't like the charters because the charters are privately funded or whatever.
Yeah. Which
is funny because the districts get so much fucking money from the state, but yet they act like they don't get enough.
Not only that, their claim is that they're taking students away from their own school, and
it's like maybe because your district's not run well, and people don't want to put their kids in those schools. You ever think about that?
Another thing also is, dude, this is East San Jose. We're both from East San Jose. Like in this past year, they closed 2 middle schools, and they're gonna close down.
Which ones?
They closed down Lee Matson.
Okay.
And I think it was Fisher Middle School.
Oh wow.
Over by Oberfeld.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 2 middle schools that closed last year. I know there's been an ongoing issue with like elementary schools and middle schools. Their enrollments are getting lower.
Oh, so it's a person issue. So all those kids are probably going to go to Ocala or something.
Yeah,
well, it's not even called that anymore, is it?
No, because it's another charter school over there.
That it did look different.
Yeah, so I think a lot of schools are. Well, I think here's the thing. People are moving out of East San Jose because it's so freaking expensive.
Yeah,
like you're driving people out of there, which sucks. It sucks. But you're driving people out of there, so of course people are moving out. Like,
yeah,
just this school year, I want to say at least maybe not a big number, but maybe like 10 students have moved out from my school to different schools because they're moving,
Yeah.
moving to like SoCal, moving to, Stockton or Tracy and stuff like that because of pricing. The housing is so much. So, of course, parents are moving. People are not having that much kids anymore, and they're not having them at a younger age like, our like one generation before did. So all of that's playing into factors. So I think the district was just like, yo, we got to put blame on somebody. These charter schools are coming in.
They're like, God damn, these people not having kids at 14 anymore.
Yeah, dude. There was a rumor saying that your old high school might be actually closing down soon also.
Not pregnant?
Yeah.
Why?
Enrollment.
Same?
Because, dude, if you think about it, everybody from around there.
You would think Lick would be the one to close because it's a shit heap.
Yeah, but
it still looks like crap over there.
But I think I heard Mount Pleasant because all the kids from that area who used to go Mount Pleasant, they're asking to be sent to Evergreen.
Well, that's fine, but there's not enough room there. They got to go somewhere, and that's the thing. If they shut that school down, it's just going to be overcrowding in the other schools.
They're gonna take
because I think this whole thing, if they can figure out a way to make these politics like stay out of the classroom, which I think they should, but I think that would help a lot. I think politics are playing a huge factor right now in that enrollment as well. I think there's a lot of people that are not happy with the way things are going with the school rules, with their children. A lot of it's cost of living, but a lot of it's also like, are we paying this much to live with this? Because it's also you got to live where you want to live. Like if you live in a place that like does all these mandates and all these things that you don't want to do, you're not going to want to pay that money to live there. So I think that's a lot of it too.
But here's the thing, Coop. These numbers have been going down prior to mandates and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they weren't talking about closing schools until COVID started. I didn't hear any of that school closing stuff.
With Mount Pleasant, I know this was when I was still working prior to going to my current school. So this is like 3-4 years ago. And with the other two schools, they closed down during pandemic. They closed down last year, so their numbers also been going down. So
but that doesn't explain the elementary schools, though. So that is COVID related. The elementary schools,
maybe.
I'm pretty sure.
I just do know that when it comes to charter schools, I feel like the districts are more like picky, and they're more like, this is what this is what's wrong with it. We're not going to approve it. Because every time our school our schools are up for like renewing their charter and stuff and being allowed, the district doesn't approve it, and we have to go up to the state so the state can go ahead and say like, oh yeah, we're good, appeal it up in the state, which sucks, dude, because I feel it adds more work to us, and I feel like the work we're doing is amazing and stuff. But it's more work, and it gets carried over to like the teachers who, I mean, my days are fucking long as fuck, dude. I get on campus. I'm supposed to get there at 7:30. Ain't nobody getting there at 7:30. Well, I'm not getting there at 7:30. But I get there like, a little bit after that. And we were leaving at 3:00 this past like 2 months. But now we're gonna start, leaving at 4. Like the last class is gonna be at 4. So I'm there for like 8+ hours, dude.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah. Well, so I'm gonna be the non-teacher perspective here.
Sure.
What happened to, because when I was going to school,
Breck and Martyr.
No, well, what I want to say is I feel like what happened to the John Wayne teachers out there, man, because when I was going to school, I remember teachers staying until 5:30. Yeah. And they were helping kids after school. Mm-hmm. They were grading papers. It was a thing. Like their working day did not end until 6 or 7 sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we've become so used to set schedules, and I'm guilty of this too, that once our 8 hours is up, it's like we're done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but teaching, as you may know, is not a 9-to-5 job.
No, it's not.
And you're never done teaching. So that's the other thing. That's kind of like,
and to be honest, like those days days are still like that where like, teachers are staying until 5.
Yeah.
5:30, 6 o'clock.
But I mean, even if you leave at 3, you're not helping the kids.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're getting home to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily being a good teacher.
The reason, with our school, because the reason we leave at, I'm doing some nasty stuff here under here. There's my hands, but I'm just
He's picking his toes, guys.
Yeah, they're
It's
itchy.
off the fucking camera.
I gotta put
Do not touch anything.
Okay. Anyways. You sick fuck.
I outed him. He was trying to. You could have not said anything, and I would not have called it out.
Yeah.
But as soon as you said, I'm doing it, I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to say what it is. Fuck
Anywho,
Put the mic down there.
I feel like the one thing also is like with our school, the reason we leave at 4 is because that last hour from 3 to 4, we call it's a study hall period.
Okay.
So, this is the time where it's.
So that is like the time you guys stay late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the extra hour to help students do their homework. Students, if you need to meet them with them one-on-one, if you're running like a club or sport, that's the time where they live. So that's the time frame. So rather than starting, baseball practice at 4 o'clock or 4:30, you're starting at 3, and you're done by 5 before it gets super dark. Because that's the other thing also, like, you don't want to have the kids leave super late. And you know what? At the end of the day, like, teachers, like you were saying, like, the old ways where, like, teachers stay after to help them out, they were still there. Like, some of my coworkers, like, yeah, school will be over at 3. They'll be like, okay, from 3:15 to 4 o'clock, it's going to be, mandated, whatever study. Or
Now, is that like a joke, or do kids actually show up?
Some of them, the ones who care, do.
So, like, what percentage do you think? And if that's too much, we would say like 3 out of 10.
That's a decent
Like
number.
30%.
Yeah, 30%.
So, I'm wondering.
And this is why they incorporated that within that hour time.
Well, because it's not worth to pay. Well, you guys are salary. It's not worth you guys to stay if you're only going to deal with 3 kids for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You might as well deal with those 3 kids in that 45-minute window.
Yeah.
And then, so I was asking not from an accusatory standpoint.
Yeah.
I really wanted you to explain it because I think that offers good explanation and understanding of what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
But also, I kind of wanted to get to the bottom of like, do you think those numbers, like, I don't know how high the numbers were when we were in school either. Like, kids that would stay late. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I still, like, I wonder what this impact on the kids, not on the teachers, of the conditioning of social distancing has on them wanting or psychologically thinking, is it okay for me to go and stay? And you know what I mean? Like, there's a little voice in their head, I'm sure, saying, I should just go home. I should be practicing social distancing. I could just email my teacher. I could Zoom him later. They're never going to do any of that because they'll forget. But I feel like that's something that's not benefiting the kids.
Well, also that's the thing. Like, I feel like a lot of kids. What I've noticed with my freshmen, beginning of the year, like, it was a constant battle. Like, hey, put your mask up, whatever.
Right.
Now over time, with cases going up and down, and people, like, either themselves or their classmates getting COVID, like, I hardly tell people to put their mask up. They know, like, they're seeing it. The reason we stopped that 7th period study hall hour was because there was, when we came back from break, from the New Year's Christmas break, like, at least as far as freshmen, somewhere between 30 and 40% of my freshmen were absent.
Right.
Because of COVID related issues.
And it might be their parents too. Maybe they're saying, like, you come straight home.
And that's the other thing also, just because they might not be necessarily tested positive with COVID, might be one of the relatives or something. And so we were like, because of that, we're like, the last hour, just because teachers were out, and we're like, okay, let's just end the day early. Students can go home that way, go straight home. And then once the numbers started getting better, which they are getting way better now, we're gonna bring it back up, which is interesting, dude. Because
but doesn't everyone worry as soon as that happens, the numbers are gonna go right back up again?
I think so, but I feel like hopefully people are more conscious about it. You know, I feel like, you know, the germaphobes are still going to be germaphobes. You know, people are still going to, you know, and the thing is it's not a law that you don't have to wear your mask. If wearing a mask makes you feel comfortable, then wear the mask.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
We were in SoCal this past couple of days, and I forgot that, you know,
that it was lifted.
It was lifted. Yeah, you know, because Santa Clara County hasn't lifted it.
True.
They're not going to lift it until like the 5th of March. So by the end of this week, they're going to lift it. But I remember like being down there in Disneyland and seeing people without masks, like going inside the stores without masks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the first couple of like hours, I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, oh, you know, we'll go radical red wing, you know, right wings or something. And then I realized, oh no, they lifted the mask. And so I remember going to Disneyland the first day. I wore my mask for like the tiki room, just for like the 13-14 minute time I was indoors. And then I realized nobody else was wearing their mask. And I'm like, all right, you know what? It's freaking hot. I'm going to be doing walking. So I took off my mask. Second day in Disney, didn't even fucking pack the freaking mask at all. Yep.
And that's my point.
And then, like, you know, this past 3 or 4 days being in SoCal without a mask, and then coming back and like reminding myself, oh, I got to start wearing my mask again. Like, it was like, it's going to be really hard because I always did not like wearing the mask because for me, I'll start sweating and start breaking out here and like around my beard. And also like just being in school talking or giving lectures for like 8 hours, have to overtalk the mask and all that stuff. It's just, it became super freaking like harsh on your throat.
Yeah. And that's why I want people to get away from this mask shit. Like, believe what you want, but stop acting like you fucking care. Because no one fucking cares. Mm-hmm. Because you proved it right there. I talked to everyone. Everyone that has people that aren't conservative. People are conservative. People are liberal. Guess what? The only reason everyone wears a fucking mask is because everyone's telling us to wear a fucking mask. Mm-hmm. You even admitted that too. You're like, oh, is this some kind of political uprising? And then you're like, oh, wait, but why am I going to do it if no one else is doing it? And that's my point, is like, if there's science saying it works, which there isn't, but if there was, people would use that as the excuse. They wouldn't say, well, no one else is doing it. Because if cancer is spreading airborne, no one's going to want to breathe it in. Yeah. Even though that's what happens all the time. But what I'm saying is if we knew that there was an active toxin in the air that would kill us, right? If we inhaled it, everyone would wear masks, and that would be why we wear masks. It wouldn't be because we were told to do so. It wouldn't be because everyone else is doing it. It wouldn't be because, you know what I mean? And that's and that's what's funny is when you don't wear it, you feel like, am I doing something wrong? Mm-hmm. Everyone feels that way. Yeah. Why do we feel that way? Because they fucking make us feel that way. And it's shitty, and it doesn't make sense, and it's all fucking power.
The only other
nothing to do with health.
The only other thing is like my thing was like, well, you know what? Fuck, I already have the shots. I have the boosters. I'm radioactive, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna give you radioactive activity soon. Yeah. My X-Men power is about to pop in any day. So that was like always like, all right, well, shit. You know, now we do have to kind of rely on the shots, you know, see if they are working. Hopefully they will protect me.
Did you ever really think the masks were preventing that though? I don't think you did, right?
I feel it's not. I know they weren't saying it wasn't to prevent them from you inhaling it, it's from you spreading it. That's what the mask thing was. And I remember seeing a video that Bill Nye did once where he was showing like the different levels of like if you sneeze without mask, like your spit can go up to 15 feet.
Sure. But and you could always sneeze into your elbow.
Yeah, and that's what they were saying.
Not be an asshole. Yeah. Sneeze into the air.
And so that's what he was saying, like with this mask, like if like he would put a candle by his mouth with the mask on, and he'll try to blow it, and you'll see like the flame move a little bit, but it wasn't like it wouldn't turn off. Yeah. And even every now and then when I put on the mask, I'll be like, and see like where I can feel it. And yeah, if I put it like close to my mouth, I can feel like the air, but it's not like super like strong. So in that sense, I knew it wasn't meant to like for me to protect. It's for me spreading it if I contain it.
That's also a great example of how trustworthy and awesome our medical expertise is, that we're still using Bill Nye as a
Hey, our generation, Bill Nye was the fucking man, though.
Yeah, but I was also 10 years old, and I loved vinegar and baking soda volcanoes. But, I mean, some things, fucking awesome. You got to evolve. We got to evolve. Let's use real people here.
Those were awesome, though.
Oh, I hear you. But that's my point, man. It's a lot of political bullshit, and everyone gets too caught up in it, and everyone's too scared to break the rules because they don't want to go they don't want to be, oh my God, I'm doing something wrong.
I think that there's also
there's a lot of that.
I think a lot of people.
That's what I mean. It's a negative stigma to do what you think is better for you than to listen to what other people tell you.
At the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the whole situation where people got COVID and it was oh, you weren't careful. Oh, you're nasty.
Yeah, because they knew so much, and
it was
people.
Still it was still fairly new. So
no one knew anything, but so many people, even now, and that's my point, is so many people act like they know what they're fucking talking about. No one does. Bro. So don't tell me what to fucking do because you don't know shit.
Bro, yesterday during breakfast, there were some people right next to us.
Yeah.
There were several Americans. I'm not going to say there's.
So they were white?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know why you didn't just say that.
And there was one.
Can you imagine if I was there were several. And they'd be like black people. Why is it so hard for him to say it?
No, there were several white people,
okay.
And there was one British person.
Interesting.
Of color also. This person was of color.
Interesting.
So
I immediately assumed the British person was liberal.
Yeah. No, they were talking about the royal family. They were talking about the royal family.
Hopefully this table blew up.
And they were saying how everybody hates Prince Charles, but they love the Queen, allegedly. So she's talking about this, and then they started talking about she's saying well, yeah, we really don't talk about American history in England because the only time we bring it up is that y'all were a colony. That's.
But that makes sense because it's not like we don't really talk about them past the point where we broke off. So that's fine.
we really don't talk about King Henry VII and
we talk about real shit.
Yeah,
that matters.
America shit. So
not that white wig bullshit.
So
even though they wore them when they got here.
Yeah. So and then they're started talking about their history books, and then they're saying how I don't know how it got to it, but they started talking about Native Americans, and that's the best thing I want to hear. White people talk about Native Americans, and
I want to talk about Native Americans,
bro. This lady was saying oh yeah, they live in reservations. They, they love their lifestyle. They saying all this stuff. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, bro, ma'am, everything you're saying is bullshit. The reservations are not in the best freaking quality of life. Their reservations are considered some of the poorest, regions or areas, not just in the United States, but in the world.
Yeah, but they also don't want outside help. So they're kind of in a weird boat where they don't want help and they don't really. It's fucked up because they're. I think they're hurting themselves more than anything right now, just for
of
that.
course the U.S. and of course the federal government is not going to help them.
And I say why would they? Not from an insensitive standpoint, but if you've been down this road for 400 plus years, historically, and your ancestors keep track of all that shit too in history books as well as the white man's history books. Why haven't you learned that this is just the way things are? Mm-hmm. And unless you want to try and change it, it's not going to change. It's like you can't expect things to just, you know what I mean? Like what you're saying,
happen.
The government's not going to all of a sudden be like, we care.
And I think now with in our lifetime, I think there's been more of a within the reservations, a growing uprising where they're trying to better themselves. They're trying to break the cycle of poverty and alcoholism. They're trying to break that. Yeah, and they're trying to break that. But it was just funny because this lady was saying oh, this is nonsense. And I'm just like, bro,
yeah. I can already kind of tell. She's giving me vibes like my dad's girlfriend. They act like they know so much about cultures when they're like, do you even know about your own culture?
Dude, bro, that's exactly what it was.
What the fuck do you know about anything that wasn't just on TV?
That's exactly. And I was just I was ready for her to say something about Mexicans. So I can be like, oh, tell me more about my people.
She's all, but not all brown people are bad.
Be like, no, go on, tell me about my own people. Tell me.
Oh, I didn't mean your people. I meant
their people.
The backpedaling is my favorite. Oh my God, I love it.
And of course, I'm listening to it, and I'm just like, it's coming 1 year. I'm processing it. I'm like, wow. But I'm just there enjoying my eggs and pork chop, as a real American does. And my girlfriend was like, she was like livid. She was like livid, and I'm like, dude, relax. Like, whatever.
Yeah, it's not your fight.
Yeah, it's not my fight. And she's like, after we're walking, she's like, how was it? You just stay quiet. I'm like, listen.
What are you gonna? You know how crazy you would look? Like to give you a perspective to back you up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would look. First of all, you'd be the loud brown guy yelling at white people. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Secondly, it's like what we just said. It's not your fight. Like, let these crazy retards, for lack of a better word, because I like that. This describes them how I feel. Like, these people that don't want to change and are ignorantly in their own bubble, your words, whether they're polite, concise, like really detailedly, like professional, it's not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's not going to educate them. They are so much ignorant to the point where just let these dumb pigs eat. Let them give this money to this staff and hopefully they tip okay.
Yeah.
And just let them leave. Because I get where she's coming from. I hate dumbass people that I don't like. But I also know that, like, we're not going to do anything besides create a problem for ourselves with those people.
Yeah. And that's exactly.
Why do that?
And that's what I told her. I told her there's a saying in Spanish like, oh, you don't listen to dumb people. You just listen to them. You don't argue. And I was telling him, like, dude, what's the point of like trying to go out there and have a conversation, argue with this person?
That's something a friend would do.
If a person is not willing to make that change for themselves or anything, like, you can argue with them back and forth. But if that person's so dead set on that mindset, you're not going to be able to change it. So,
but I mean, do you want to break bread? And then, like, to ask her, it's like, do you want to break bread with people like that? Do you want to talk? Or even have conversations with people that are that ignorant?
I think I'm like, if anything, you have a conversation, you listen to understand their perspective, understand where they're coming from. And not necessarily to agree with it, but just that perspective. But it was just like, at that point, like you said, when people are so dead set on that mindset, unless they want to make the change for themselves, unless they want to go and do, but it has to come within them,
right?
Yelling, and same vice versa. I don't want somebody to come at me and
you know
tell
what?
me,
And you know what else you could tell Monica? Be like, well, it'd be different if she was like asking questions and said she didn't understand something.
Yeah,
sure, but when you're just venting, that's basically what she was doing. If someone's venting, you can't be like, you're venting wrong. Like, even if you're right, they're going to be like, fuck you. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
There you go. So she's never going to, it's just like, you can't win that. It becomes political. Then you become the, if it wasn't for people like, you're the reason why I don't like people like you.
Yeah.
And then you're like, see, that's what I wanted you to fucking say so I could punch you in the face.
Yeah.
It's just like, there's no point in that.
And it's kind of like, at the end of the day.
But we could just beat them up in the parking lot later. So just be quiet and professional on the inside. And that's the other thing you could tell her is just turn the mic off, Sheila. You just handle the business. You do the whole Bronx Tale, like, now you can't leave.
Now you can't leave and you lock the door. Yeah. That's exactly what
you got to be undercover. You got to be smart.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, from my experience with talking with people with different mindsets and stuff, is there's a way to have a conversation. And I think that's a great example you just said. If they're asking questions there's nothing wrong with saying, damn, I'm not educated enough to know about that.
Right. And I actually have been liking saying that.
Mm-hmm.
It's slang related, but we were talking about how I'm going to that Skankfest Comedy Festival in Vegas. And I was like, oh, it's in Old Fremont Street. And one of my coworkers was all, oh, that's the Blade. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that.
Yeah.
I literally said that to him. And I was like, honestly, dude, I don't know what the fuck that means. What is the Blade? And he's like, oh, that's the spot where the prostitutes are. And I'm like, interesting. I've never heard that term.
Yeah.
So then I Google it, right? And sure enough, Urban Dictionary is your best friend.
Yeah, I made it. Yes.
It even gave me a sentence to put it in. It was like, man, tonight I'm gonna put that hoe on the blade, and the blade is also known as the track.
And that's how I know it as the track.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of more our generation. Mm-hmm. The blade's the new hip version of where the hoes work.
Because I know it as the track. You're gonna make this girl, work
she's
the
gonna
track.
work her money.
She's gonna work the track today.
But I learned that because I could have been like, yeah, haha, but instead I was like, like, I don't know what that is, dude. What does that mean? And there was no level of shame from him. And he was like, no, it just means this, and it was cool. Like,
yeah,
I am so used to, like, when I was younger, I would just kind of always be like, yeah. It's so lame. Nothing feels more lame because part of you knows that they know
that you don't know shit.
So it's like, fuck that. Just tell them, be honest, be like, look, I don't understand. I don't know what you're talking about. Enlighten me.
Yeah. And there's been times where like students come up and, oh, Ms. Brinkle, what do you think of this? And I'm like, dude, honestly, I'm not educated enough, or like I haven't been following that to know exactly what's going on.
Have you overheard your kids call hot dogs glissies? Glizzies.
Glizzies? That's the
so
thing?
Get this. My Steph's younger sister told me, she's like, oh, they're called glizzies. And I being the fucking older brother and hater I am, I was just like, that is the dumbest fucking thing. I'm like, why? First, before I shit on it, I did say, why are they called glizzies? And she didn't know. So that's when I went in on it. I'm like, well, first of all, you shouldn't call something you don't even understand what it means.
The hell is, yeah.
But then I was just like, I'm trying to understand the lineage. Like, Blade, I still don't get Blade. But, like, I understood what it meant at least.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, okay, cool.
Like, where's the reference?
Right.
Yeah.
What's the connection? Why are we just making things up now and we could just call it a shishmoozle? Like, cool. The Dougal Dongle. And it's like, or we could just have real words, So I Urban Dictionary it again.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it's a fucking TikTok fad right now. But glizzies are slang street terms for extendo clips on a fucking gun.
Oh.
Because it's like the size of a fucking like a foot long.
Yeah.
So that's why they call them that. But then these people calling them hot dogs is total social media kiddo shit. It has nothing to do with like street terms or anything. So it's just learning things like that are meaningless, right? But it's like, I'm sure you know so many dumb things.
Pushing P was one of them.
I don't know what that is either.
See, I didn't know.
Wait, pushing weight, like, oh, moving drugs?
No,
so a pound.
So our 3-6 Mafia.
I know, and I'm wearing my 3-6 Mafia shirt too.
Our late 90s, early 2000s hip hop, real hip hop. If I heard pushing P, I would have thought like, oh, this was pushing drugs. He's pushing pounds. He's pushing
QP.
Kilos. Yeah, he's pushing pills. I don't know.
Right.
But apparently pushing P, and again, I'm going to sound like a fucking jackass.
It's okay. It's fun.
If I get this wrong, I apologize. But according to Urban Dictionary.
There we go. It's our third-sided source. I love it so much.
Wikipedia.
Fuck you, Merriam-Webster. Get your shit together.
Pushing P means that when you buy shit with your own money and you're just pushing, you're buying your own things with your own money. It's not rented. It's not like you're... It's not like
you're not financing.
Yeah, or like it's again TikTok thing where like you're not showing off things that your parents bought you. You bought it yourself.
Which how many of these little TikTok fuckers are really doing? Go fuck yourself.
Which I guess is like
16-year-olds buying their own shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
And apparently it's like you keeping it real. Like you're keeping it real. You're 100%. I mean,
so it's like the glizzy. It's just stupid.
Yeah, it's
like, but you should be doing that anyway. It's something to brag about, right?
Yeah.
Don't brag about being a responsible fucking person. Yeah, I buy my own stuff.
And apparently it's some guy,
I hope
Gunna.
I hope it's a shitty rapper.
No, it's a rapper named Gunna or something.
He sounds familiar. I don't know if he's good. Like what good means to
pushing
me.
The lifestyle of a player, a real one, putting your people in the position is pushing P. Keeping it real.
Pushing P might mean pushing people.
I guess like pushing paper. I don't know.
Okay, pushing paper like doing work.
Pushing P. Yeah. Doing positive stuff for yourself.
It also sounds like you're pushing P when you're like when you got gonorrhea and it won't come out right.
But it might be pushing P like pushing positivity to your people. Yep. Like kind of what we do.
I think that's kind of the vibe I was getting from that as well. It's like helping gaming them up a little.
For how much, and we like to think that this current generation is freaking fucked, and
they're done.
What I do appreciate about this current generation is that they are more accepting of others, and they're more definitely pushing more positivity on others. And it's usually the ones you would think that won't actually. What I remember this one time 2 years ago, I don't know, something with school, and there was this. I have this student. He was super quiet, researched to himself, might be under the spectrum or under whatever, but he's super quiet, super smart, but just super quiet kid.
Yeah,
super shy. And I remember we were out playing basketball or kickball or something. Dude, 35 students shouting his name, like cheering him. This kid kicks the ball. He freaking launches the freaking ball. And both sides of the team just go freaking crazy. Like they go.
How old are the kids?
Freshmen, so like 14,
Dang,
15.
That's pretty cool.
They're freaking going ape shit. Like, oh yeah, way to go, dude.
I don't remember that ever happening in high school.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I sit back and I'm like, shit, these kids, for like how shitty they are, sometimes they're freaking amazing. And I pulled 2 or 3 kids, always the troublemakers of that class. I'm like, hey, dude. I'm like, hey, thanks for including so and so in today's activity. Like that's what's up. And he goes, oh yeah, for sure, Mr. B. Like so and so, he's the boy. We always got his back.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, damn. For a much like these kids, like we write them off as fuck. Like, and these kids are always like constantly getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Like at least they have that conscious decision. They know about that. And in a way, hopefully they're pushing P because they're pushing positivity.
Because those kids that are causing trouble, I think they just have a lot of ideas and energy, and they don't know how to use it.
Not only that, and of course, like a lot of stuff going,
a lot of troublemaking kids.
A lot of stuff going at home also.
True, but I think also a lot of troublemaking kids also are smarter.
They are,
because they're not being used properly, so they're frustrated.
And the thing is, it's like a cycle. They get in trouble. Whatever. It's like a cycle thing rather than somebody like getting the time and talking to them and see what's going on. It's just like, no, they just don't want to deal with the kids. And I get it. We all been there. Like there's days you just don't want to deal with them or anything. But, for the most part, I'm not going to say every single one. For the most part, 80% of them, 90% of them, they just, they're just looking for some sort of like, there's insecurities in there also. Like, yeah. I currently have a student. This kid has the lowest GPA in the freshman, in the freshman class, and he kind of wears it with a badge of honor, and he kind of acts out stupid. He's like, oh, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Every time, like, so it just sucks. And he was talking about how next year he wants to go, because I was telling him, like, hey, dude, blah, 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 what's your work? It's like, oh, what for? I'm going to fail. I'm like, dude, we're 4 or 6 weeks into this semester. Like, what the heck you mean you're going to fail? Like, turn it around, dude. Like, do your work. You'll do good. I promise, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm just going to go to a different school next year. And I think for that student, that specific case, I think, like, the student's just, like, so used to wearing that badge of honor. Of,
once it gets to that point, that definitely does sound like that's, like, I know, like, it's a common scapegoat probably for teachers to be like, well, it's the parents' fault. In which, most of the time it is, because that's who they spend the most time with. But, like, when you get to a point like that where it's not, like, school affecting them, it's their own, like, self-esteem.
Yeah.
Then it's, like, it's not necessarily the parents, but it's something they're dealing with. So,
yeah, it's some, some internalized oppression.
That something is affecting them that way, right? Whether it's home, it could even just be, like, a relative that's not their parents.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of shit that could be, but it's something that's outside of school.
And to be honest, dude, also, like, because I'm guilty of this. When I know I'm not going to be successful or something I just don't understand, or I'm not capable, or skills are not there, I just write it off like I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather, like, be cool and, like, oh, I chose to not do this than to fucking fail, because nobody likes to fail. So I think for him, I would love for him to stay. But I think in this case, for this student, I think it'll be beneficial for him to move to a new school.
Maybe he's got to learn. He's got to learn it there.
Yeah, and just like start.
Something will happen.
Start a new sake, and it's just like, damn, that sucks, kid. But push and pee, homie. That's
but just like getting help in any facet of the world, if you don't want to get it, then it's not effective.
Yeah, you have to do it for yourself,
even with kids.
Yeah,
because I think the trick with kids is getting them to think that as well, because it's implanting ideas more than it's almost educating, because kids are so damn stubborn that they're not just going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
So
and we're stubborn too, also.
Oh, of course. But no one's trying to fix us anymore.
Yeah.
I did the best that I tried. Yeah. Hold on.
I did the best I ever did.
Yeah, we're going back. All right. So it's like, I tried and I didn't give a fuck. I tried and I can't do it. Yeah. All right. That's enough. But it was fun. I had to get my yah-yahs out. That wasn't even on the chorus.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't on. But it's okay. It's a great song, though.
We got it. We understand the point. But, it's I think what I was going to say was, what's been comforting is I talk to, me, I talk to all types of colors, shapes, creeds, and political views. And one thing I've been noticing about everyone I've been talking to is they all feel the same way about getting getting the youth more support, not just in school, but counseling in juvenile detention centers.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that are just trying to educate kids on nutrition, and it's just what we need to do is implement that stuff. And the problem is the politics that go into schools and the politics that go into everything prevents some of that curriculum from ever getting in there.
And you talk to this.
Well, there's no funding.
Little shameless plug over here for you, but I believe you talked about this also in an episode.
Stoop Kid episode 30 with Coach Mandy.
Yeah, with Coach Mandy. And yeah, I feel like those things, there was a time for it. And I feel like we should bring it. The thing is, schools, what I've noticed in the past, our generation, it was always like, go to college,
Yeah.
Like, go. You're only going to be good enough for flipping burgers.
Right.
Well, yeah, but fucking In-N-Out employees are making hella money,
and like, we need to educate on trades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude.
We don't have trades. We don't have anything.
Dude, I was telling this to my freshmen. I'm like, dude, I feel less than a man because I don't know how to fix a car. Like, I feel less than the man. Like I wish I can do like a freaking deck but I don't like.
So you could do, the deck thing. You could go on YouTube and do that.
YouTube, absolutely.
You can learn that. Automotive work, in your defense, has changed anyway. To the point where, unless you're working on like classic cars, newer cars are not the same.
No,
you need a computer system to diagnose shit. You can't even. It's so annoying because a lot of car heads I know aren't really digging the direction the new stuff's going, because it's pretty much ruling out any type of DIY improvements or any type of maintenance that you can do for yourself.
Even like giving somebody a jump with my car like I have to take out the cover.
Oh, it's weird.
It's like, what the hell? Like,
it's like they don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
But you know what? I heard jumping cars is not ideal.
No.
But still, it's like, this is something that may need to happen. Why not design, if you don't want to put it on the terminals of the battery, why not just design a jump start area on the engine that has nothing that won't affect. It'll have like some kind of weird bypass system, so it won't fry the circuitry.
Yeah.
But it'll charge the battery, get it going. I mean, like, if we can make electric vehicles, go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
like,
really, it's possible.
Like, it's real. It could happen. It's just there's no money in that. There's no.
But I feel like, we need to start educating kids and just basic life,
like home improvement skills would be cool.
Yeah,
like do a fucking this old house class.
I was hanging out with an old coworker on Friday. She met us up in Disney, and she was saying how like she met, she was talking about one of her freshman history teachers that like taught her how to like send a mail, like how to write a letter, how to write checks, blah, blah, blah. Like, granted, that's becoming obsolete now unless you owe money to the IRS.
Who's going to teach you to do that unless you do it?
Yeah, no one. They stopped showing those skills. Like, kids don't know how to cursive write anymore, Like,
I still think that's weird. At least make it like an art class.
Yeah.
Why not do a calligraphy class? That could be cool.
That'd be cool. That'd be hella sick.
Hella sick. I would have taken it.
But yeah, I feel like there's so many things now. Our school systems, we're just so focused on getting kids to college and go to college and go to college. And yeah, I agree. Some of it is, great. Why not? We need kids in college. But not every kid is made for college.
Nope.
Not every kid wants to go to college. And this is where I feel like we need to provide more of those trades or liberal arts. Is that I believe that's from
Yeah.
more of the arts to kind of empower these kids and kind of like, hey, maybe I don't want to be, sure, I don't want to go to college, but you know what, fixing cars sounds cool.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to cook. I want to learn how to, balance, checks, or like, oh, I want to go into
investing. That's something
dude,
else.
So many kids are always asking about stocks and real estate, and I'm like, yeah, there's programs now.
But that's exactly what we need to be looking into for retirement is real estate and stocks, not fucking 401ks.
Yeah.
Like 401ks are good for what they are. They're not a retirement fund.
Yeah.
You're not getting shit. It's not enough. Like they don't teach you that. They go, oh, the company match. Yeah, the company match is great. But you're still only making, 6%? And it's like, you can't pull out the money. It's your fucking money you can't use. It's so stupid. It's complete and utter bullshit for the banks to just get more money out of you per month for more interest.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that. But that's why it's better if you make calculated choices with stocks, like smart ones, not buying like crazy penny stocks and shit like that to get rich quick.
Yeah.
But actual investments, and you learn about like the ebbs and flow of like stock markets, and because most of the time you're not buying and selling. The only people that are buying and selling frequently are people that are flipping. People that are buying a lot for a short, like rich people do shit like that.
Yeah.
Like people like me and you, like it's smarter for us to find choice investments, like to put our money into as a nest egg. And the idea is the interest it collects in that time is more than you would have got from any savings account, even a compact deposit.
Yeah. And that's how that whole a year ago, how was stock like GameStop and
and those are like they call them meme stocks.
Yeah,
GameStop, AMC. Because I did have AMC.
Well, and I think we talked about this. What happened was there's this thing where let's say you have 100 stocks of AMC for this case, and I say, okay, can I borrow your 100 stocks for X amount of price or whatever? So you lend me those stocks, I sell them, knowing that stock value is going to go down. So then when I rebuy it, I return back to you your 100 stocks, but I sold it for a higher price and bought them back at a cheaper price. You don't lose your stock except for maybe like selling it.
And I make money off of selling it.
Or lending it to me, and I made money for selling it and rebuying it at a lower stock. So that's what happened. So what they did is they started buying and trading, these meme stocks or whatever. So like, let's say if I borrowed in that time period, I borrowed your stocks and they were worth, just for sake of whatever, $10 each. By the time I try reselling back or buying back or giving back to you, now that stock is worth like $60 or $80. I ended up buying it, spending more money trying to rebuy them. And that's where like all these people made hella money, because they ended up selling it back at such a higher price when it wasn't really, that company is not valued that much. It was just.
But that's the thing. Stocks aren't always based on value. It's demand.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It's GameStop had a lot to do with the fact that, and you could argue it's almost corrupt, because I feel like sometimes it's like people will be like, people influence, and then like that's all it takes.
But it's funny.
Influence a few million people, that stock can go up.
But it's funny that you said it's corrupt. It's corrupt when poor people do it, because the people who know how to play the stock game and everything.
Corrupt. I think it's corrupt all around.
And the people who freaking know how to do this, who are constantly doing this, like they know it's just a game. But once like the average Joe gets or knows about that, it's like, oh, we need to regulate that, And I think,
but yeah, of course.
But that's just
But that's because you're compromising their operation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Business is business.
Business as usual. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, but that's why it's important to educate the kids, and so because the reason we look at stocks like an unknown is because we weren't taught.
Yeah.
So like even in my 20s, I remember my uncle telling me like, you need to invest, you need to diversify what you're doing, and I kept thinking like, why are you telling me to waste my money?
Yeah.
Why are you telling me to gamble my money? That's the way I looked at stock investing, because I think that's kind of way it was sold to us
as a gamble.
It was like, oh, Wall Street, the movie with Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas. It's like, yeah, if you want to be a mobster, it's just like it was never shown to us responsibly.
Yeah.
It was shown to us like for
the
a purpose.
Glamour,
Like to to almost like not benefit us.
Yeah.
Like, why would you not show groups of generations of people how to make more money or be more successful? And it's weird because we didn't. You know, it was like let's chastise this and make it seem like it's a bad idea because it's a good idea. And it's like, so now that we know that, and now that we know that like what they've been telling us is a good idea, like we know, like, do your own research, you know, learn about something, really learn and read on it, because I've even been learning more about investing and stuff. I don't know shit. I still will say it confidently. I don't know shit, but I feel more confident about making some choices. But still, I want to see change. I want to see investments classes in the future. I want to see nutrition classes a lot more common, because we have the exercise. If we have PE, why don't we have nutrition?
Yeah.
And that, honestly, if it doesn't even need to be the same people, I'm okay with different teachers, because sometimes the PE teachers are a little, you know? So I'm just thinking, like, a nutrition class could be no different than how you have a psychology class or a wood shop or a metal shop. And by the way, you need to keep those classes too.
Yeah.
But it's like, just those skills, man. It's just real. Like, we just need to teach. We need to rely on skills. Like, we were relying so much on learning technology when we were kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need to. It will always, technology will get easier, and we will find a way to get used to it.
Yeah.
But it's like the stuff we need to learn is the hard skills, you know, like the real stuff that you got to just grit your teeth and sweat and bleed a little.
And that was sold to us as beneath us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's fun. I just gave an article to, again, my students. Same thing, like, no parents want their kids to go up to be a plumber because that was taught to us as beneath us. And then you need to get a fucking plumber and you see how much they're freaking ranking.
Plus, dude,
because the demand's so high and there's not a lot of plumbing companies now.
You know how fucking commendable it is to just have someone say, I need this fixed, and to fix it?
Yeah.
That is a cool feeling.
That's a cool feeling, dude.
And like, and if you could do that every day, and you might not, but even if you, it's just knowing you're making a difference, knowing that you know how to physically do something, like, also like plumbing, dude. Yeah. That is a huge thing that no one really wants to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's just like, there's a demand for that.
Yeah.
You know, and I heard electrical is kind of changing. So I think the plumbing market might be a little more safe at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of electrical, I think. Electrical's weird. I'm kind of glad I didn't get into that union, but yeah, plumbing's still huge, you know. There's just so much out there that needs to be taken, like, as what it is.
Welding, you know.
Like, yeah, and then it's all cool. Like, it should be, but it was weird because I grew up liking that stuff. I grew up liking, like, I watched American Chopper, so I always thought people with fabricated frames. It was so cool,
dude. Hell
and then like even Deadliest Catch, like, of course I don't want to be a crab fisherman, but I'm like, it's cool seeing these people that work real jobs, you know.
Yeah.
Even Dirty Jobs was a dope show.
Like,
I loved that show.
And I think also it's when you say that, for us, I think for me, the attraction of it, for like American Chopper and like the Gas Monkey one, how they flip cars.
Oh, yeah,
like,
that's cool.
I feel like for me, my attraction is like, fuck, I wish I knew how to do that, or because I know I won't be able, like, put me in the freaking Barrens, I'm gonna die within like the first.
But you know what?
2
The
hours.
fact that there's a level of interest means there's something there, though.
That's
because
true.
a lot of people don't even give a fuck about those shows.
Yeah, I love those shows. Too.
Me too. And it's funny. I'll mention them to some people, and they're like, "Hey,
yeah."
I'm like, "That's fine, though."
Yeah.
The old me would be like, "Why don't you like American Chopper?"
Yeah.
But like,
what's wrong with you? Yeah.
Like, why don't you like Billy Corgan? I just said that because I'm looking.
You're
right
looking
at
at Billy. Hey, Billy.
Yeah, he's looking at me.
He's looking at me too.
People said,
"Yeah, like, don't look at him no more." But I feel like we need that, and we need to remind students that, or let me phrase that, we need to change the stigma of these. First off, we have to stop using the term work smarter, not harder. Yeah, that's true. But that's making it seem like hard work is like you're a dumbass. Like roofing, yeah, is hard work. Is a job that's interesting. I will never want to be a roofer. But tell you what, I have an uncle who's a fucking roofer, and he just freaking, he owns a house in East San Jose.
Yeah,
rebuild it, remodel it to like a 2-story. Has freaking a home in Mexico, put his kids through college. So, and that's just roofing. Yeah. Right. It's hard work. It's fucking hard work when it's 105 and you're out there on the roof, but who's smarter? Like, but does that mean that he's dumb, even though he was able to provide? Or we're like, fuck, dude. We're like, those jobs will always be on the man. Same thing with plumbing. Like, yeah, it's hard work and it sucks. Nobody wants to be in the freaking crawl space, changing tubes. But I mean, are you gonna go down there and do it? If not, like, how much will that bill be? Like, if you don't know. So
I like that. As someone who uses that saying a lot, I appreciate you saying that, because it really gave me a perspective. Because even though I understand, and I know you're not saying it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I understand what the saying means, but you're right. It is in a way demonizing the hard work aspect, which is like, even though in that saying all it means is work more efficiently.
Yeah.
But you are implementing saying that you should never really have to work hard. And you're not saying that completely. Yeah. You're building that tree from that little seed, which is don't work hard. And it's like, no, there's times where you got to bust your fucking ass. Yeah. You're right. Like, you got to fucking work.
So
I agree with that. Like, I think maybe we got to reword it a little. We got to figure something out.
So this year I'm working hard because I'm writing the curriculum. Is next year am I going to work as hard writing curriculum?
Maybe work harder.
I'm not going to work harder because I already wrote it. So I'm going to work smarter. I know how to adjust it. I know what worked, what didn't work. So it's definitely be smarter, but it's still going to be hard work.
Maybe what we need to just say is work efficiently.
I like that.
Don't even need to compare it. Just say work efficiently, because efficiently means, it means what it means. And like, there's days where efficiently could be, we're gonna cut down. We're gonna go home a little early because we know the next day is gonna be really tough.
Yeah.
Or it could be, we're gonna push through today so we can relax a little bit next. It's an adaptive idea, right? It's not a finite. This is what you're always going to deal with.
You're going to do one extra step today, because once you got that skill down, it's going to help you.
But that's what I mean. Efficiently could also be one less step to give you an extra step the next day.
Yeah.
So it's really just managing, right?
Yeah.
And I think, like, instead of saying everything's black and white, like, everything, just like, work smart, not hard. Yeah, cool. It's a little outdated though.
Yeah.
I agree. And instead of spouting all that shit, let's spout the stuff that makes sense to us, and then they could tell us in 20 years that we're old and don't make sense.
Yeah.
But at least we tried.
At least we're pushing P.
At least we're pushing P. I pushed P this morning. It was rough.
We're just don't work the blades, or don't put them on the blade.
Yeah, don't put my P near the blade, please. Already had that happen. Never again. Yeah. No, well, I got circumcised. Now that everyone knows that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Okay.
Not that I dated a Puerto Rican woman.
Sure.
That was her butterfly knife that she knows how to use. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I think, this was a pretty good episode this week.
Catch up.
It's a good catch up, and it's also just important to kind of rebalance what we're talking about, like you're saying about the kids and how the troubled ones that we want to write off in society, or that they're the ones that care the most. And then even if that's not even just that, like the fact that your whole like freshman class was being so cool and all together, uniformly supportive
of this.
I mean, how we can't get adults to agree on anything, or to support any one thing that's good anymore.
Yeah.
So to see like things on that level, it does make you feel like there's hope.
Yeah, it does.
That not everyone's going to be a little. I mean, there's going to be a lot of shitheads out there,
absolutely,
but there's going to be a lot of good ones. So just also remembering that there's good building right now, instead of focusing all on the negativity that is all we ever see or hear anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to find those nuggets, because those nuggets can grow into empires, and it's just, instead of just always reinforcing all those negative thoughts, like with imposter syndrome or just the news or anything, like we really got to analyze what we're doing and see it as a big picture and say, no, I am making a difference. There is progress here and here and here. And this is what I have to be proud of, instead of having someone tell me I did a good job.
And damn it, and that'll be another episode, but it's so hard for people to tell me you're doing a good job. And I think when I was hearing your episode with Coach Mindy, right? Mandy. I'm sorry, I apologize. When she's like, oh yeah, I love Tales from the Head, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, damn, like, that's cool. we feel like we're doing excellent work, and we tell each other. But of course, Steph, backs us up. But I mean, Steph kind of has to.
She's biased.
But hearing
but it is a real. I've caught her. She really does listen though.
Oh,
Steph.
Yeah, and
she's legit.
Yeah,
it's not just she puts her work in.
Yeah, Monica also sometimes listens. And
they're not just. They're doing their part.
They're doing.
I want to say they're not just. It's not just biased.
Yeah.
Because if I was putting that forth that kind of effort, I'd be like, listen, motherfucker, I'm a fan. Yeah. I support you.
Yeah. They're not bots out there. They're
not bots. Don't call them that.
Yeah. But like hearing it from like a person that you do not necessarily like know personally or like interact with a lot.
Yeah.
Like hearing that's very like reaffirming.
Also someone who's not even geographically near us.
Yeah. That's dope.
I love that she's in Missouri. I love that Happy Ending guys are in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And then I'm talking to some other dude in Florida because I've been talking to him. It's weird. I met all these people during COVID.
Yeah.
And for different reasons. But there's a dude he was in Ohio when I met him, and now he's in Florida. So that's just what I mean. Like I've got. It's cool that our network of people that talk to us and are involved are not just in our neighborhood.
Remember, what's his name? Dave.
Dave Weiss.
Because he's so nice.
He's Connecticut.
I think he said Pennsylvania, like New England.
Well, yeah, it's probably Connecticut. Connecticut makes sense.
Yeah,
he seems like a Connecticut kind of guy.
Hey, we're still waiting for that hot sauce, buddy.
Did he say he was going to send it?
I don't think so. I don't think
he did. And I never gave him an address. Damn. I don't think he said he was going to send us. He did, but I don't think we followed up.
Yeah.
So we should hit him up with an email.
Hey, what's up, bud? What's up with that hot sauce?
Can we get that mango salsa? Because it was mango salsa.
Yeah, it was
they
like
said, right?
Mango salsa thing. Damn, it sounds good.
I know. It sounds like it'd be good on fish, right?
Yeah.
Like a white fish.
Yeah. Yeah, like a little salmon.
I'm trying to eat more fish. Because I love fish. It's a leaner protein. Mm-hmm. I feel good after I eat it.
Yeah.
I love steaks, but I want it to be my special thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been eating like
Not
shit.
Not that I eat steaks all the time.
I've been eating shit for the past couple of days.
It's okay. So you've been eating like shit. The camera said, I'm going to take a shit.
Yeah. And I think that's a good.
I think that's a good way to just say, you know what?
Eat
Adios.
Here. Adios.
Yeah. No, but yeah, that's pretty much it. We said what we needed to say.
We did. It's done here.
You guys checked out 10 minutes ago.
We gotta be efficient here.
Let's be honest. You guys are folding clothes.
Yeah.
Maybe you're picking your nose while you're driving to work.
You're stuck in traffic.
I mean, I do the same thing. Just remember, if you're gonna pick the culo, you gotta wash it.
Yes.
More than just hand sanitizer after you go down there.
You gotta go with the sub for 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's a stink.
I'll say at least put it 30 seconds.
You're like, does this taste? Yeah. Okay. All right, boys and girls and everyone in between. You guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for checking in. We went dark, but we're still here for you. You're probably looking at a still image of us. But we will see you next week. And thanks for tuning in. Be kind, rewind, and don't. No, I was going to say something. Never mind. Have a good weekend.
Don't walk the blade.
Yeah, don't walk the blade or you'll get walked on the blade.